All right, when it comes to solving a puzzle, you often need a little brain power mixed with tenacity. When you talk about solving the autism puzzle, well, those traits are just the start. Resources, dollars, people are also high priority. And this weekend, you can help with all of the above. So my good friend Jared Smalley here to share more about the Autism Speaks Walk, which is happening Sunday. Right, Jared?
Sunday.
It's coming up. And we talk about Autism Speaks. We've had them on the show before, but I want you to share with us a little bit about what they do. I mean, they essentially are one of the greatest resources right here in our city.
They are. They're one of the biggest resources in the world. And I take you back to my personal experience with autism. When I first realized that my oldest, Brady, was going to be diagnosed, the first place I went to learn about autism was autismspeaks.org. I went to their website just to figure out if the things that I was seeing personally as a parent were a part of what was going to eventually turn up to be on the autism spectrum. They were.
Right.
And it was also the place where I started to get an idea of where to go. Like, what's the next thing I'm supposed to do? I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. What do I do? Who do I call? That was the place that I went to first.
And it's that helpless feeling that a lot of people first have, right? Like, where do I go? I don't know anything about this. And this organization's not even 20 years old.
Right.
So when you think about how far they've come.
Yeah. I think back to when my oldest was diagnosed, and obviously both of my boys are diagnosed, and I think back to those moments. What you expressed is perfect, that moment of helplessness.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm still passionate about doing this, and I want to help people who are just starting out and people who've been doing it 20, 30 years down the road, and they have children who became adults with autism. They all do. I'm still passionate about it because I remember that feeling like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
That moment of, I don't know what I'm doing here, and I need to figure out the best way to not only support them, but support me, support the rest of the family, to figure out, what's our roadmap forward? Who do we call? And they were probably the people who were most inclined to give us the first step forward we needed.
Right, and how old are your boys now?
So Brady is 14 years. Just turned 14. I had a moment. I legitimately had
like you have a teenager.
My youngest is going to be 12 next year, and that is equally scary to me.
And you have had to obviously navigate a lot through that, through learning through your boys. Part of the reason why you walk. So tell us kind of, about the walk. What essentially is that day like?
I'm glad that, we have an opportunity in Columbus to have this walk here. Most of the walks in the country are great, but they're not like ours.
Yeah.
Ours is special. Ours is huge. You're talking 8,000, 10,000 walkers out there, so many families. It's wonderful to be able to look into the faces of the people who are most affected and most excited to see each other. I consider it like a family reunion.
Yeah.
We all get together every year, and there's always new people coming into the family and trying to make sure that those people have what they need to be successful, the resources they need. And it's just a fun day. We do it at Columbus Commons every year now, and to watch everybody out in the field there up on the stage and look at the sea of humanity. And it does give you an idea of how many people autism touches, whether it's directly in your family or somebody you know. Chances are you do know somebody affected. And to see that representation is extremely powerful.
And how is it for you now that you kind of, have been through a lot of kind of the beginning phases of this, seeing a family who's dealing with, they think their kid's on the spectrum and they're just going through those early stages of learning that, and they're coming to you probably thinking, okay, can you give me some advice? Can you tell me, am I going to be okay? Well, is this going to be okay?
Let me give you one of the biggest things that I've had a call for, because we've still developed a tremendous amount, to our credit in Columbus and especially across the country, with immediate impact. Like, what do I do when I first realize there's a problem? My initial phone call when I went to get a diagnosis for Brady, there was an 8-month waiting list at Children's.
Wow.
8 months. And you have to think, what can you accomplish in 8 months? How much time goes by? How critical that is, especially in early development. So we've done our best to continue to work on that process, and that's the thing that people always call for is, there's a 4-month waiting list, there's a 5-month, how do I handle this? Where do I go for resources?
Yeah.
Especially in rural communities. If you're in southeastern Ohio, where do you go? You don't just go to the doc down the street and they've got every resource available. That's just not true.
It's not happening.
And so we have to figure out a way to get those resources more readily available to people across the state. And so those are the things that people reach out to me. Hey, you're the guy from TV. Do you know somebody?
You've got this platform, or, who do you know that I can get to?
Right, and that's the thing that I think is so important, is that we need to make sure those resources are readily available, where you don't have to call a friend. That you can call your doctor, you can call your local pediatrician and get on the road to getting where you need to go to get the proper therapies, the proper medication if necessary. There's many medical conditions that are usually common with autism. For example, gastrointestinal issues are usually common with people. So you factor those things together, and that's why the mission's so important.
All right, the mission obviously is huge on fundraising. It's what we need to do. It's why we have the walk. So, Jared, you have your own team as well.
Yeah.
And I want to let you know, people can still register, still join. What time is everything kicking off?
Please come. We want you to be there. But it's a wonderful deal. 10 a.m. opening ceremonies. That is this Sunday. So obviously we've got the Buckeye game Saturday night. It's going to be a late night. It's worth it. Get out of bed.
10 o'clock is plenty late. You could sleep in.
Look,
that's not early.
You want to be a champion? Get out of bed Sunday morning. And you can also donate online, autismspeaks.org/walk. You can find the Columbus Walk there. We have the Fours Army team,
yes, Fours,
Army.
Yes.
You can come find us there, leave a donation. I'd be very, very thankful if you did. But trust me, the families who are so affected by this, the thousands of them, they genuinely appreciate the support because it does affect not only a world community, but our local community too.
Yeah, they want to see your face there. We do too. Again, it is Sunday, the Autism Speaks Walk. Jared, thank you.
Thank you.